Isn't it bliss? Don't you approve? One who keeps tearing around, one who can't move. Where are the clowns? Send in the clowns. Just when I stopped opening doors, finally knowing the one that I wanted was yours, making my entrance again with my usual flair, sure of my lines, no one is there. Isn't it rich? Isn't it queer? Losing my timing this late in my career. Where are the clowns? There ought to be clowns. Next year. You know, there's a lovely story connected with this song and Send in the Clowns and Stephen Sondheim and my husband, John Bay, who was very much alive at the time. Here's how it goes. John and I were both living in London. As a matter of fact, we were both playing in the West End. But we figured out a time to come home once a year to visit our folks. Chicago his, Michigan mine. And then what we would do is come to New York for a week. Yeah, and we stayed at, where did we stay? Oh yes, we stayed at the Carlisle Hotel. Full circle, sort of. And wait till you hear this. I live in the same corner room now at the Carlisle that John and I did then. It's very romantic. But this particular year, it was 1973, the year I was married. And John and I had to leave the Carlisle early that year because John was going into rehearsal for a show called An Elephant in My Pajamas. It was a one-man show he was putting together honoring Groucho Marx, hence the title, An Elephant in My Pajamas. How he got in my pajamas, I'll never know. And the night before we left New York, we decided to go to a musical. We picked a winner. We went to see A Little Night Music at the Schubert Theater. Oh my God, what an elegant, classy evening in the theater that was. We danced out of the Schubert. We walked back to the Carlisle, but we danced out of the Schubert. And halfway home, my husband hit me with this. Elaine, what would you think of my singing that song, Send in the Clowns, as Groucho in my show? I said, well, I'll skip to the chase, or cut to the chase. John called Stephen Sondheim, and he asked him to give him his okay to send in the Clowns. And in good humor, Stephen Sondheim gave him his okay along with a good luck and a go for it. We got back to London. John opened in An Elephant in My Pajamas, and it was so good. And he was so good. And any part that Stephen Sondheim played in it, John was truly grateful. And I'll tell you, Steve's participation was the icing on the cake. At the end of the show, after all the bows and everything, John walked out on the stage as Groucho, of course, and he sat on a stool, and he looked out at his audience, the lights dimmed, and he sang. Isn't it queer? Finding the deed to the ranch in your brassiere. Send in the clown. Don't you love farce? My fault, I fear. I thought that you'd want what I want. Sorry, my dear. Where are the clowns? Quick! Send in the clowns. Don't bother. They're here. Send in the clowns. Some song, eh? Some song. Some song.